My name is Freddy, and I was born with a dream to build incredible cars. Together with my girlfriend Ginny, from nights spent working in the garage at home, step by step, we came to create Befuel Performance, Italy's first social workshop where unique projects take shape. My mission is to explore every aspect in the custom sphere, without setting limits for myself. When people ask me why, my answer is always the same: why not? Watch the video.
I just bought a Viper so I can show how to open a Clio.
We will be able to remove about 250 meters of unnecessary cables.
DIG, mother and fathers.
Only the air conditioning is turbocharged, like a madman.
Sean!
Bang, motherfuckers! Bang!
Dodge Viper 1994, convertible RT10.
It has only 770 horsepower. What do you want it to be?
I can't stop laughing from how happy I am. Now the fun begins. I don't like this, Ginny. We're home, guys. We did it! "42, I'm fainting."
Come on, at least we have fans.
Yes, they are there at the bottom and they are not here. Welcome back, guys, in a new video.
Hello.
We had arrived here after that extreme trip we made with the Viper from Stockholm.
What extreme? Just a couple of kilometers.
50 hours, 2,000 kilometers. Why? Because the car was running on ethanol, remember? We're here today because I'm going to tell you a couple of nice little things about this machine. And then we will go with Gomo, the bad Gomo, which I now present to you to see the whole mechanical part and everything about it.
To attack her finally.
That's right, because the car needs to be fixed. On the M5, we are redoing the clutch as it was beginning to show signs of...
Poor thing, but she is all disassembled. What did you do to her?
The gearbox is there. We ordered a new clutch, flywheel, and pressure plate. Now we are fitting everything as soon as they arrive.
Everything looks new.
But we don't give a shit about the M5 in this video.
Poor, forgotten already.
I didn't even wash it for you to show you what a black car looks like after 3,000 kilometers.
How do you manage to put it down well that the car is dirty?
One white headlight and one yellow headlight. The bodywork, as you see, is to be redone, but IP Auto Bodywork will take care of it. But in the meantime, we are here today because this car arrived by the grace of God in Italy, thanks to Shutter, who brought us a can of ethanol. But from here on, the car can't go anymore, because you have to adjust the whole part that Gomo will now explain. Because I have these things here, you know, I stop here. He is Gomo, the one who will be in charge of all the automotive part of Befuel Performance. All the mechanical work, all the chassis work, all the electronics work will be done by him.
In short, our savior.
Our savior. From what we understand, this car here, the first owner did it very well, put on a volumetric, put on trim. All this done in the 1990s, according to us.
How do you know it was done in the 90s?
Because such a big compressor, in my opinion, is not used today, eh?
No, looking at the tubes, they use the type of clamps, the hardware like that. You can tell they didn't use the latest material.
After that, this car here spiked when it was sold. Then for a few years it wasn't worth a pittance, and so it went into the hands of people who usually buy Firebirds, Mustangs, and then kids started doing shitty jobs on top of each other. Plus in Sweden we realized after this trip that they better forget about using cars, because really 3% are good, and in '97 you better cut your hands off.
Do you remember those two mechanics where we went? What a disaster.
Madonna, guys. The one near Stockholm, who while he was fixing things with his other hand had a sandwich in his hand.
Eating kebab.
In the car. I don't understand. Sorry, where the fuck are we? And so this car here has been touched many times. There are a lot of ECUs, a lot of things that Diego will now show you, which have to be removed and have been added in a crazy way, starting with the water pipes in the barrel and the fact that it has a vent here and a filter there.
Here they put a vapor recovery, there they put a direct filter. In short, things that make little sense.
Where do we start?
I would start with a nice discount on the electrical part.
Explain what a discount is, they don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't understand why this car, that being old generation and having very few electronics on board, is so full of wires.
It has more cables than an Audi A4.
That's right. As this one, you tell it turn on and off, accelerate and brake, and that's it. I think that whole group there needs to be weeded out of this car.
Just turn on the headlights.
I think all that group there needs to be eradicated from this machine.
It should be simplified.
Absolutely. I think we'll be able to remove about 250 meters of unnecessary cables, and the machine works a little better than before.
Challenge accepted. Afterwards, we measure them.
That's not a problem.
250 said. All right, let's start, Gomo.
I would say that the stereo system they did on this car here is also important. 80,000 watts to try to circumvent the engine noise, but they will never make it, so I think we will eradicate that as well.
No!
Yes.
Stereo system is essential. I love music.
I got it. But here you can only hear the music, the engine off, without the keys in the ignition. Because already that you put the keys in the ignition, already the noises start, and you don't hear anything anymore.
There is chaos then.
Now you can get a good look at what the fuck. This one is a positive displacement supercharger. It doesn't come out that way from the parent company. The engine is underneath. Mounted that runs, obviously like old belt-driven volumetrics, unlike the turbo that runs on exhaust. You can see it is really big though. This is a row racing that only makes volumetrics for huge displacement American cars. Is really huge. I have never seen such a large volumetric, but does it make sense that big?
Yes, it has to move a few gallons of air.
8 liters. Here we have some wiring, but we want to quickly explain.
What you are holding is the leash of the car.
You're like this when you're at the bar.
It follow.
Can I try?
You have to put the keys in the ignition.
We'll look at it underneath later, guys. You've never seen a car that's called supercar racing, as they call it, made with a chassis like that, square tubes, unnecessary weight between the parts. Let me just tell you that underneath it has a plate this size that is 5 or 6 millimeters thick, made of iron, with 25 bolts holding it in place to protect the gearbox from bumps. I say, but you can't put 70 pounds of plate to hold an engine guard on a race car? And so like those, there are 50 other things that once we go and do some really substantial work on this car this winter, we're going to remove everything that is superfluous weight. This exquisite engine control unit, ECU, is paired with these exquisite cards that at first glance resembled an anti-theft device. As we deduced, these cards actually represent the various maps of the additional volumetric ECU. What we need to do with them.
When you have to decide which room to go into, because they are like the ones in the hotel, that one, right?
Second floor, the third room.
That's right, second floor, third room. 18. Then there is 19 and a half and 14 and a half that talked about the degrees of advance at a certain RPM. Now we will find out why they gave him those kinds of names to the cards.
Who knows if it's going to work?
I wonder if we finally, guys, use the strobe gun, which is something I've seen since I was a kid in the videos, the one that flashes, but I didn't understand what it was for. Today, Diego explains what it is.
In the meantime, I see a little problem, Freddie, that he's missing a slice of belt.
I have the replacement belts.
This one came off a tooth of the belt. Here on the outside, however, the belt went a little bit where she wanted it in the pulley grooves. In this case, it's on the outside, here on the inside. Over there, still on the outside, in short, we change it, we put it new, and we should be okay.
Explain how it works.
It works that when she sees the impulse of one of the spark plugs, of course at the same time she sends the impulse to the bulb that lights it, and you, by framing the crankshaft pulley, You always see at the same point at what level it is, and then you see the advance. If it changes, especially by changing with the motel cards, we see if it changes the advance, it means it will also change the mapping, and then we can trust it a little bit better in going on the road to test it.
Before, after.
We found a little surprise. We tried changing the 3 maps that were supposed to be 2 ethanol and 1 gasoline. But we've seen that absolutely nothing changes with all 3 files. So now we're going to sit still for a while and get it ready to go on the dyno and do a mapping for 100 octane that we can easily find in Italy, or 98. So we can start doing the first road tests.
I like it, I like it. So since the work of carburation, we say, ends here, now we go ahead and clean it up, I would say. Let's go wash it. We also put down the bumper, so we wash it underneath as well. While we're at it, we're going to replace the yellow headlight that was here. That luckily they went to us when we bought the car, the same one as the left one. Unfortunately, this was the original one, but it's yellowed. So we put them both not new, because they are not new, but obviously not yellowed. And at this point, we go to see these beautiful Kevlar structures just to weigh the car down a bit. To get the headlight down, we have to take off the bumper, which is not bad though, because we are at least going to fix the leaking air conditioning as well. At least without the bumper we manage. I hope to find the damage, because in that car without air conditioning, when especially you have the roof and you can't pull down the windows, I'll leave you to imagine what words come out of your mouth. A day has passed in the meantime, guys. We haven't shown it to you.
Hello!
Hello, guys. It's been a day. Now we're going to wash all the components that we take apart. In the meantime, Diego Gomo is getting to the air conditioning that doesn't work and getting rid of this useless fluid recovery, because the original fluid recovery pan is in here. Once the fluid recovery goes in here, there's no pump to put it back in. So here it goes to die and weigh the car down in front of the axle for fucking nothing, so we take it out.
Do we need to explain to the more experienced people that this tube doesn't go all the way down, so the vacuum doesn't suck up the liquid? Or do you think they're going to break the balls anyway?
No, make them ride it, make them ride it.
No, but we just said it.
Well, but they, while seeing the video, already commented, shit, what the fuck you do, depression is not right. So I do the easy part.
You push gun.
I am pushing the gun.
Here it is, in place. Found it! Damn bastard.
Can I see?
It's simply a tube leaning to the filter box, see?
We're gonna weld it with the tag, with the TIG. TIG, mother and fathers.
Isn't it in the belt?
It's disconnected. Maybe that's why the air conditioning doesn't work.
Anyway, it wasn't going because it was leaking.
But it wasn't connected. The belt goes around and blows the pulley of the air compressor. We could have been here 3 days making it work.
Yes, even more.
Yes, sir? I'm going to wash the hood. Hi, do you wash the boat? No, it's a hood. How nice to wash the cars with silence, without the asshole in the back waiting for you.
The air conditioning hose we found punctured. We put it new. Do you want to not find the Viper's air conditioning hose at a parts store on the 10th of August? Here to hold up a water pipe they pulled with wire through a hole in the frame. Nice job. If you want to keep the original car, you have to leave it that way, because this one, in Dodge, there is the little man's signature plate that writes this, I made it. You told me this one is volumetric, but isn't it that it's turbo?
Only the air conditioning is turbocharged. For a man who doesn't have to ask for anything.
I understood.
It is called the pneumonia model. Turn on and go straight to the emergency room.
Here it is, it's yours, we can refurbish it.
Should I wash it? I'll go wash it myself.
The air conditioning hose?
Where did he touch?
On a joint under there.
It has worn out, and because of that there is a small hole.
Either balance him or cut him down and make him...
A new curve.
A new curve with the tire at least no longer goes into the...
The tire a little bit shorter, and so it makes the curve tighter.
Let's change where to run it through.
Meanwhile, I clean it. I'm taking apart the whole heating system because there is rust here, and I hate rust. And when I see rust, I disassemble. Like a madman, hundreds of self-tapping screws, plastic within plastic. If it weren't for the fact that we live in a country that is so warm and so cold in winter, I would pull everything out here. I would only do it with outside air. But unfortunately, you die, and so it comes apart. Madonna?
I don't think it's not punctured.
I also have doubts now. Except that the manifold here is also missing.
Look how beautiful. Think how long it's been since this thing has been running.
Has left the factory, already broken.
It was already like this. They stuck it in like this.
I washed this one. It doesn't have engines attached, right?
It's kept well.
Here's another radiator.
This one here is the important one, because it is the air conditioning one. 99 out of 100, it's not broken. We just have to check that this hose here doesn't leak when we go to mount it. This stuff here is all sponge. You can
remove.
Then we make it.
Remove. But no, they don't leak.
If you don't want to wash and clean well, we open it anyway by now.
Someone came in with a box cutter who is cutting the ECU. Galma, explain to us what is the red material that looks like.
Resin is a resin they put to protect the circuit board and to prevent someone from removing it to tamper with the EPROM that she drowned down there.
Here we are going to try to convert the car to gasoline and then figure out how much crap they did to it.
No, then first we need to figure out if this ECU can meet our needs.
Day 3. Do we keep changing? No, it's the third day. We don't put the days on you. Last night we were here at 8 o'clock. This morning we are here, so...
We are trying to examine the ECU to see if it is possible to work well on it, not only to convert it to gasoline. We also have to figure out if then this ECU here will be useful to us in using it every day with a safe and decent mapping. To be able to use it in all conditions.
Disproportionate, I would say.
In my opinion, this ECU here is a little bit retro, so make it good for this kind of thing.
What is the name of the ECU model we need? We tell them...
Guys, we need an EQ master.
An EQ master, please, that we need here. We need to stop sailing in loose resins, marshmallows here. Doesn't it look like jelly for soufflés?
Exactly.
Explain who Matteo is, why he came like that to the shed with a box cutter in his hand.
I found the cutter here.
Knowing me, Matteo came with a box cutter because he knows that I like to cut wires, harnesses, eliminate everything unnecessary. Then he thought to begin to understand by cutting. He started to make some space there to see if he gets to a point.
But the filter and oil?
No, only cutting.
This is Matteo from Garage MP Electronics. So he came here to look mainly at the Viper, but secondarily also at the Audi, the MF5, to the Unimog, the Pickwick, the 2 Ducati, as long as he feels like it, to the Unimog especially. Now we start with this one that Gomo brought it ready for analysis, and now it's Matteo's turn.
You can't do as I do with the chisel, because if not...
Put it in the oven?
If you touch inside underneath, you make a mess. What is it that you use to clean it well? Trichloroethylene?
No, now you have to go like this, that if you don't, you smash the components underneath. You have to be careful not to break anything.
Matteo came with the laboratory van on wheels.
To carry the screwdriver to dig out the resin.
Holy crap, how much is in order? It looks like those CIA vans where they go to make... What are their names? He is going out talking to his wife.
Open the dressers.
Ah, a little bit in order. What a sight. What a cool... What a sight is my dream. Volkswagen, please give us a crafter. We have to do it like this, beautiful. We washed all the components of the Viper. And now we are starting to put it back together. Always me. Gamo left us. He went on vacation rightly 5 days. No more Gamo. If not, I'll come get you the sea. We changed the headlight, which was yellow, washed the filters, which were red but were also dirty. With obviously the red color products came off. We washed all the internal components because we washed them while we were at it anyway and took the hood that way.
The coffin, the hood,
and the bumper because we washed it and it came out a nice surprise. The paint on this bumper was painted by Donald Duck, and so washing it with hot water is all coming off, which is not a problem since we are going to repaint it, but it still pisses me off.
When I saw how this car was painted, I was shocked. I almost didn't want to take it anymore. But then we found good collaborators who will make a jewel come back, so...
I am confident, yes. Now we wait for something to develop with MP garages. The guys who did the ECU analysis, and we'll figure out what to do. In the meantime, we ordered the new radiator heater, which is the same as the one on the '99 Fiat Panda. Once that arrives, we will reassemble the whole heating box. The air conditioning, we welded the pipe. Marco welded the pipe. We reassembled it so the hot-cold part is practically completed. Let's go to reassemble the front bumper. Guys, some stuff arrived that was missing from the workshop. So in the meantime, a multimeter has arrived. Pretty cheap, that's used to see the voltage if the wiring on the cars goes a few things. Then we got a strobe gun to see the phase of the engine. However, updated with the cables in the right voltage, because the ones that are here don't fit. Then some really horny objects. Are you ready? Teflon-coated bushings for disassembling rim nuts, so that when you go in to get his circle nut, you don't mark his circle. Because Teflon is softer than metal and they are colored, so they are very good. Now came a shitty job. I mean, these plugs here. Why? Because all the Viper plugs were made by Donald Duck. And so it's scotch with things like that, plugs thrown, wires cut. What do? We go and do all the wiring in a certain way. From here on, we can't film because I have to swear. Talk to you later. Alexa, pause. Guys, I was reassembling the bumper and decided to look inside the fog lights, what was there. I come and see. You remove this and say, whatever, I'll change the lamp. Look at this. Wait, it's not over. Why? Why do you do things like that? Now, while we order the new lamp from Bosch, maybe we also put the LED lamp. We put them back on since the bumper needs to be put back on because the car needs to be road tested, and then later on we will mount the right lights. But really, this sucks.
John!